It has come to the attention of the Phalanx that false information has been circulating regarding our investigation into Nemesis.
The Phalanx research facility has officially reopened after being closed for 8 years. And obviously, yesterday, at the time of recording, it officially reopened. So today is like the second day of its operation, and I've actually just noticed this is a new section of track that's not been installed yet, but it's actually been waiting to install. It's already been placed into the site. And you can just see down there one of the old theming pieces. That isn't actually old Nemesis track, that's from the theming around the station building. So they used to have basically like tentacles from the Nemesis monster that looks like the old track for Nemesis. Hello and welcome to today's video, and today is part 7 of the Rebirth of Nemesis, and there's a very interesting update that I didn't think I'd be able to actually be talking about in this series, but recently, within the last few days, a fellow enthusiast has actually made a very significant discovery that's all to do with the Rebirth of Nemesis. Not the series, the actual thing itself, but basically an enthusiast online known as Coastalytical has actually found some, basically long story short, right, a few months ago I made a video on a Rebirth of Nemesis, so part 2 actually, in this a very similar location to this, about how all the Nemesis track had been officially taken out, all gone. That's when all the demolition phase had sort of finished of the track, and obviously by that point we all thought that the track had all been scrapped and sent to the scrapyard. And for some of the track that was the case. However, it seems that recently enthusiasts have actually found some of the old remaining track in an undisclosed location near Alston Tower, but it's not actually on the property. Now it's kind of difficult to explain. I don't know where they found it. They say it's in an undisclosed location, but yet it's somehow found it. Although they have said it's not actually at Alston Towers. Now this begs the question: what are they going to do with this old track? Because like, obviously, we all initially thought up until recently that all the old track had been scrapped, but we do not know. Considering they found this old track lying about in it somewhere in storage, what could they possibly be doing with it? Now, obviously, this is obviously a sign that they're just up to something beyond just the retracking and the new trains. Well, we kind of got an idea of that anyway, when John Wardley went for an interview saying it's going to have new sort of theming, special effects and all kinds of new stuff with it. But to what extent that could be? Well, there's been rumours floating about ever since Nemesis was announced to be closing that they could use the old track as sort of like a centrepiece, like theming structure around the ride somewhere. Kind of like the entrance for Alston Towers with the corkscrew, but with the Nemesis track. Now what's interesting is this old track is stored in the exact same place as some of the new track that has yet to arrive. Now obviously, if you've seen recently online, the new track has started to literally fly up in the middle of the day for people to see, especially like on the overbank turn just before the vertical loop, and that looks awesome how they're doing that. But obviously now that the old track has been found, what could they do with it? Now there's loads of things they could do. They could either build it into some sort of centerpiece structure around the ride. Maybe they could even do what they did with the station building. Because obviously, if you don't know, the station building before for the ride, it was being run as alien creature, obviously Nemesis, and obviously its tentacles were literally in the shape of the track. Now, if you saw my last update for this ride, you noticed that I saw not only a brand new piece of track on the floor waiting to be installed, but also a piece of the old like tentacle theming from the station. Now, this is obviously very, like, because then, does that mean that they're going to do something with the station building? Like, could they potentially be adding the old track physically into the station building? Now, I don't know what you're thinking, that sounds kind of a bit overkill, I can't just use fake track. Well, I mean, I suppose it's possible. I mean, the old, I don't know. Or, another option, they could be taking a note from Blackpool Pleasure Beach and sell, maybe sell the Rise track for a small fortune. So obviously we know Blackpool Pleasure Beach, they like to tend to sell track for like the big one when they've retracked that, and parts of all the old Wild Mouse and ride wheels and things like that. Like every time Blackpool Pleasure Beach retrack the big one, they usually take the sections of track and they sell parts of, literally just tiny parts of the rails to enthusiasts for things like hundreds of pounds, like in the 3 digits, but it's quite expensive obviously. So could Alton Towers be doing something like that with the new Nemesis, with the old Nemesis track? They could either be doing that, or they could be using it for sort of like theming structures. That would honestly be awesome to see. The old track you've got placed basically next to the new track, the brand new track, which is obviously black with red veins. Just an eye-catching colour scheme. But obviously either way, this is a sign that Alton Towers and the Phalanx are up to something with the old track. They're definitely not scrapping that particular. Obviously, it's not all of the old track. It's only some of it, because some of the track that they actually scrap. We saw photos of it in the scrapyard. But this track that they've kept behind, they're definitely up to something with that, and we're hopefully going to find out within the next few months to see what that is. So I want to thank you all very much for watching this Rebirth of Nemesis update, and I promise you that the next Rebirth of Nemesis episode will actually be in the park this time. Bye!